It's Mercy. Music by Mercy again. Heat Nation, we the culture. Yo, I need you to call time out. Need Brady to set the floor plan. Tropical blanket, open for the shot. Yo, Greg, set the pit. Still 5 on the floor, still ride for my dog. Still battle on the court, still survive in the war. Keep your eye on the ball, or get burned from the keep this mic off the wall without turning the cheek. From night to day, no sleepy paths or allowed to morning. The nut is sleeping us, never catch us snoring. Live from Miami, report in the heat with 5 reasons sports from the court to the streets. Yeah, Wake County, Heat Nation, we say it proudly.
Welcome to 5 on the Floor, a daily insider show on the Miami Heat and the NBA, featuring Ethan Skolnick, Greg Sylvander, Alex Toledo, Brady Hawk, and others from the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Also, make sure to subscribe to Off the Floor for the most heat anywhere.
Welcome back to another live edition of 5 on the Floor. I'm your host, Greg Sylvander. Tonight's floor plan with me, Major Passons. We are coming to you directly after the Miami Heat's victory. This is 4 home victories in a row. They're protecting home court, y'all. 136-131 final score from the Kaseya Center. Miami takes care of business against the Portland Trailblazers. This was the second night of a back-to-back, and they are shorthanded to say the least. And they're getting it done. We like to see that. We're going to get into all the details in a moment, but before we do, I'm shouting out Off the Floor. That's our Discord server. It's $2.99 a month. It's the most heat anywhere. You can talk Miami Heat basketball 24/7. We have channels so that you can consolidate all of your interests, whether it be NFL, NBA, Miami Heat, fantasy sports. You can talk all of that right here on our Discord server. Off the Floor, the most heat anywhere, $2.99 a month. Check that out. That is where you definitely want to go. And then we have a real special shout out for a special sponsor of this episode, and that is Cash App. And this is when we talk about Cash App, this is where you talk about safety and trust. Cash App is as a Cash App partner. We work with them on all of the, excuse me, I'm losing my place here in the ad. Bear with me here, folks. We're going to scrap that. We're moving off Cash App. Sorry, I lost my ad read. So we're freestyling it here. Maybe we'll come back to it if I can find it. Major, your initial thoughts on tonight's victory as I collect myself and try to find what I'm supposed to say for my script with our great sponsor, Cash App.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a pretty impressive win. Portland's been playing pretty well. And then coming off the second night of a back-to-back, and like you mentioned, shorthanded, I was really interested to see if they could keep their level of aggression and pace up, and they did just that. Even at times probably played a little bit too fast, but once they settled in the game, they did really well. This game was a track meet of all track meets. 2 highest paces in the league so far, and you could see it. I mean, it looked like those practices where your coach is like, you got to get a shot off within 1 pass. That's what it felt like. Just run up and down, like more like a running drill than a basketball game. So many great players for the Heat, and I won't spoil any of it, spend too much time on it, but like you could just go down the list and point out things they did. They're making it real easy for me to do my post-game grades. They're all playing great. So
yeah, and the offense continues to click. It was a weird game where they started and they missed, I think it was 14 of their first 15 shots. Then from there to halftime, they shot 77% from the field. In the first half, the bench outscored Portland. Miami's bench outscored Portland's 33-20. I don't know where that ended, but this is the common theme that second unit comes in and thrives. Jaquez tonight, there was somebody else that had probably his best performance maybe ever in a Heat uniform. Definitely his best performance of this season. Let's get to it with the Insurance by Lynette Player of the Night.
And now it's time for the A Aggressive Insurance Player of the Night, sponsored by our friend Lynette. You can find her at insurancebylynette.com. That's with 2 N's and 2 T's, insurancebylynette.com. If you need car insurance, renter's insurance, homeowner's insurance, or any other type of insurance, she's the person to go to. Based in Lauderhill, she services the entire Tri-County area here in South Florida, and she will make sure to get you the best deal. She'll probably talk to you about the heat while you're at it. Reach out to her, insurancebylynette.com. And now, the player of the game.
So like you said, Major, when you do grades for all these guys, they're all going to grade out in a really positive way. I mean, Norm played well, even though there was an uneven start that we weren't used to from Norm, but ultimately 7 of 16 for 22 points. Pelle Larson continues to play well. Wiggins hit a big shot down the stretch. Ware rebounded well. Davion still continues to get assists. Jaquez plays well. Drew Smith had a big night. But the talk of the night, the guy who we are going to hone in on, because he just looked really as confident and as decisive as he's looked all season. Nikola Jović in 31 minutes, 29 points, 10 of 16 from the field. He hit 3 threes, including one where he just pulled up like he was Steph Curry. 6 of 8 from the free throw line, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. We're going to ignore the 6 turnovers because he was being aggressive. Your thoughts on Nico's performance? Because this was something I think he needed, a real breakout game like this. It sets up with the way that they're missing so much playmaking from Tyler and also from Bam, that they were going to need Nico to step up in this way. But to see the shot drop the way that it did and him be so decisive, I thought it was really I was hard on him in the last post-game show, Major, and people called me out on Discord about that. And I was probably a little harder. I've been hard on him all season. You get that extension. I expected him to slide right into a perfect role. And tonight was a night where you really saw what they see in Nico as a player. Your thoughts on his night against Portland?
Yeah, he was maybe the best player on the court for most of the game. Him or probably Denny for the Trailblazers. But
he's really good, by the way.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. But yeah, Jović, this is what people expected, not quite to this level, but this like level of impact of being a key player for the Heat, making key plays. This is what a lot of people wanted to see and kind of expected, especially after the international like tournament that he played great in. And he kind of changed his body to be a little bit stronger. And you can see that. That's really evident in his game. In my opinion, he's attacking people. He's hitting people in the chest. I love it more. And he did it this game. And I love it more when he starts out attacking, then goes to the 3, right? Sometimes, and a lot of times this year, he's been more 3 reliant than I would like him to be. He has good size. He has good handle. He used that. He has good physicality now. Use that, because a lot of times he has a guy that's smaller on him. Take them in the post off a drive or whatever, and just don't be afraid of the contact. You're big enough to where you're going to get those calls or be able to finish over it. And once he does that, he then shoots better. He gets into the game a little bit more. This new offensive philosophy, getting some easy buckets, gets him in rhythm. And you see that with a lot of the players, not just Jović, but I loved how he started out just attacking, like in the paint, in the paint, in the paint. And then once he got that confidence and rhythm up, took good threes most of the time. There was a couple threes at the end of the game.
One that came up short.
Yeah, he earned it, I guess. But he's trying to hit 30, I think. But phenomenal game from him. I don't think it's a question. It's his best game of his career. The only thing you can knock on is the 6 turnovers, but it's easy to kind of overlook that when you do everything else.
Yeah, and they need him to be aggressive with the playmaking, being decisive, getting to the rim and being decisive. You talk about him embracing contact. There were a couple plays where he got downhill and initiated the contact, and that's the kind of stuff I think he's still learning, that he's actually like almost a big man. I hesitate to go there in terms of him being like a big, because he's definitely, more his game is obviously not like a traditional big at all. But they need him not to just play, make, and make shots right now. They need him to rebound. There's a ton of stuff that guys are going to have to wear multiple hats until Bam gets back, until Tyler is back. So this was a huge step forward for him. I hope that he can continue to build on it. He was efficient in the game the other night, only played 19 minutes. So it was a little, there were question marks about, was his back acting up? People said that they saw him wearing a brace. I think we could put that concern to bed because he played great tonight. Before we get to our next segment, I'm going to circle back to Cash App and give them their just due because they are offering built-in security. This is how you keep your money safe. When you get a Cash App card, not only do you get access to a ton of perks, benefits like exclusive early access to concerts, pre-sales, discounts on popular brands, but you also get extra security with the power to instantly lock and unlock your card right from your phone in just one tap. If a suspicious transaction pops up on your card, Cash App has your back by automatically declining the purchase and sending you a heads up to confirm if it's you or not. Behind the scenes, you can rest assured knowing your account balance is protected 24/7. Fraud monitoring is in place. Spend with peace of mind today and order a Cash App card in the app or at cash.app/card. And for a limited time only, Cash App customers can earn $10 if they use the code SECURE10 in their profile at sign up. Send $5 to a friend, anybody, even someone in our network you can send it to. And within 14 days, you'll get that $10. Terms apply. Cash App is a financial service platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App Bank Partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Discounts provided by Cash App. That's the disclaimer. We got through the Cash App read. Someone in the comments called it the struggle ad read. Ethan does it better than I. Let's actually roll right into the next segment so we can get to the play of the night.
And now it's time for the X-Ray of the Play of the Day, brought to us by our friends over at Mobile C-Arm and Staffing Services. Nelson and his team will bring the X-ray equipment and the staffing to you if you work in a hospital or a medical office. Get a consultation today at c-armandstaffing.com or give them a call at 561-891-9620. Their fleet of trucks at your service. Again, it's Mobile C-Arm and Staffing Services, 561-891-9620. And now, the X-Ray of the Play of the Day.
Which one are we going to choose? I mean, there was the alley-oop that Ware caught that I thought was really nice in traffic. Was it Nico or Jaquez that got a big block down the stretch? Wiggins hit a big three. There's a lot to choose from here. Do you have a favorite play before? Maybe we ask the live commenters to give us their favorite play. But what was yours, Major?
I like the Jaquez lob to Ware, but it was Nico that had that big block that kind of really felt like it sealed it. There was just so many scrappy plays throughout the game too, where they made big runs, where they had big key steals that changed momentum or offensive rebounds or stuff like that. This is one of those games where there honestly wasn't one play. Sometimes it's real easy after a game. It's one play that kind of like did everything. We have in here someone saying Larson's dunk. So everyone's probably going to have a different one. The Ware lob, though, was a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is the byproduct of this new offense, Major, is that we and particularly people like you and I who painstakingly are going to watch every single damn one of these games, no matter what. We've been watching this slow-paced, pound the basketball into the ground, kind of a slugfest, rely on the defense. And this team still is relying on defense. Their forced turnovers tonight and points off turnovers were both really the disparity between them and Portland was great. And I don't have the stats in front of me, and I'm not going to look it up right now. I'm trying to focus in on how much more fun this is just to consume basketball on a night-to-night basis with a team that plays the way that they do. They play free. Even when the shots don't fall for periods, they seem to continue to work in the system, and eventually the shots fall again, or they get to the line. They're finding ways to get wins. They're beating teams that they should beat, even with their depleted roster. I think that Miami, just by virtue of how hard they play and the defensive philosophy, Spoelstra coaching them, they should beat the Charlottes and the Portlands that come into Miami. So protecting home court, off to a great start. That's really the moral of the story. If you're going to take anything from tonight's postgame show, is that we leave each game saying, wow, this team is so much more enjoying to watch than what we went through last season. And that contrast, I think, is such a welcome sight for Heat fans. Major, your thoughts before we close?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can summarize everything with the Heat by giving credit to Eric Spoelstra. Being willingness to even make this big of a change is not normal for coaches with his accomplishments and his tenure to do a basically complete 180. And I think this also shows the greatness of Eric Spoelstra, to where he's also playing towards his team, right? So his team fits this really well, actually. You can see Jaquez fits this really well. Jović fits it well. I think Bam even fits it really well. And to your point, a lot of people are talking about the offense because the numbers are high, but they're when you go like defensive rating and offensive rating, they're still actually a better defensive team, and they're an elite defensive team when it goes defensive rating. It just doesn't look like that because they play 1,000 possessions a game and you're going to let up some points. But like when you adjust it for that, they're actually pretty solid. And I think that's also a shout out to two guys that really have fixed problems they had last year. That's Drew Smith and Davion Mitchell. That point of attack defense has been really good. Both guys are playing very scrappy. Neither of them are big players. And they have trust in the guys behind them. You have Wiggins. Jaquez is playing great all-around basketball. Everyone's kind of stepping up to the table. Now, not everything's perfect, but this is 10 times more fun than 82 games of 80 points. We're getting 80 points and a half this year. I'm going to call it. I mean, like, it's going to happen maybe several times. We're playing bad offensive stretches and still hitting 70 and a half.
I know. And being at 100 through 3 quarters. I mean, the 16-year-old me that was with the old school Heat teams, the 90s teams or whatever that was, like, forget about that. Even the big three groups weren't scoring at this type of clip. I'm looking this is funny. The Trailblazers took 109 shots tonight. Miami took 96, yet Miami still won. The Trailblazers out-rebounded Miami by 10, 57-47, yet Miami won tonight's game. Miami shot 10 of 35 from 3. That's only 28, almost 29% from 3, which was slightly better than Portland. But it was really the 2-point field goals, all the layups. Jaquez continues to get to the cup and make layups.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess the reason why I'm bringing up all these stats is that there's some of these that jump out and you would think, oh no, this is a team coming into Miami and they're sneaking up on them and they're out rebounding them. Offensive rebounds, Portland 22, Miami 12. Yep. Miami found a way. They had Miami had 17 steals. It's just interesting to see them find ways to win even when stuff doesn't go their way, and continue to get to their stuff, whether it be on defense, which they mixed in a lot of zone tonight, and I don't love that part of it. I think they're going to have to do that without Bam. But the fact that they can stick to the system, Major, on offense, I think is it's a testament to them just implementing it, committing to it, and not deviating from the script. So we're going to continue to enjoy Heat basketball that way. They've got a back-to-back set, not back-to-back, but 2 games in Miami against Cleveland. Basically the same Cleveland Cavalier team that swept them off the floor last year in embarrassing fashion. So even though you won't see Tyler and you won't see Bam, the Heat have something to prove in those games. So we'll have you covered for those. Thank you to everyone watching live. Thank you to the podcast audience, Major, for your time, as well as to all of our sponsors, Cash App, InsuranceByLynette.com, as well as Mobile C Arm and Staffing. We'll have you covered the rest of the week. Monday and Wednesday are the next 2 games against Cleveland. So check for us live. We'll have you covered. Peace.